Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football, presented by PJ's Coffee, coming to you from the Oshner Andrews Institute podcast studio. A lot of stuff to get into today. Tyler Shough, we're going to keep talking about him, the believe it or not, from week 14. How many wins is this team going to win? And then we'll get to the question of the day. If you're looking to buy a new car, make sure you get it from my guy Matt Bowers at one of his many dealerships. And if you want to celebrate your fandom beyond the field, Keesler Federal is proud to be the official credit union sponsor of the New Orleans Saints. They're a not-for-profit organization, meaning their members always come first. You can enjoy lower fees, better rates, and everything else Saints fans need to help you get one step closer to living your dreams. All right, first topic today, presented by Aaron Rose. What does Tyler Shough need to do to get Saints fans one step closer to living their dreams of having a team that's worth cheering for every weekend?
Yeah, look, he's wowed us. We're believers. We're excited to see what he does next. But, I mean, the obvious answer to this question is just a bigger sample size, consistency, doing it over the long haul, repeating it, showing that it's not a fluke. And if I'm going to get real nitpicky, this is partly him and partly Kellen Moore and partly proven that he's the right guy for this offense. I still want to see more of it in like planned circumstances. It was nice that they finally scored a touchdown on the opening drive, thanks in large part to Mason Tipton returning the opening kickoff across midfield. But again, I mean, what's our biggest Tyler Shough highlight of the season? It's him escaping a sack, running 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, making, a miraculous recovery out of it, and then running for a touchdown on a design pass play. So, that's great. And it was his moment. But I feel like a lot of his moments now have come on scramble drills and when he escapes the pocket and when he keeps plays alive. So I need to know they can design an offense around him and do it for 4 quarters. But again, that's not trying to say he's bad at that, but that's probably the next step I want to see.
Yeah, definitely. Just for me, it's more. It's just keep doing it. Keep giving us moments that feel good and don't backslide. That's really all I need to see from him at this point. The ability to elevate is so good, though. And I get what you're saying, and those are his best moments. But I also do think that there's been some good stuff from the pocket. Definitely some of those third downs in this last game were huge plays from the pocket. One of them, like Brandon Thorne put out the video. I didn't even notice how good it was until he kind of slowed it down. Shough on the Vele, the out route, 3rd and 5, his arm, he's getting hit. And again, this isn't like a clean play but he would have hit it clean anyhow, but he's getting hit and he can't even get through, and he still gets the ball there and is layered over the defensive player. And just some of the stuff is so freaking good. And yeah, those second effort plays are so nice to have. And yes, they're I would love to see some sit in the pocket, and it's not some, just more, just a little bit more, just a little bit unexceptional, unassuming greatness. But then we'd be sitting here, we probably wouldn't be hyping as hard either. But yeah, just some boring 24-point games where you don't have to do any of that. And like you said, I think some of that's due to the structure of things. But the thing I would point out is in a similar circumstance last year, we were talking about how there just wasn't enough for Spencer Rattler to succeed. And boy, we're damn close to the same level of attrition here with the center's gone, 2 receivers, Alvin Kamara's not playing, the right tackle, the backup right tackle. You're down to Sherman. I mean, there's a lot of guys missing, and they just beat the Bucs. I mean, very, very impressive.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see a backslide. And at some point, I think he's going to have a really bad game, because every rookie has really bad games. And I almost want to see that to see what the next page is, but I almost feel like I don't need to see the next page with him, because it just feels like he's so good at just being in a moment, handling a moment, and if things go bad, knowing that life's going to keep going on. And, there's comments about his age. We've joked, mostly me, I've joked about him, being older or whatever, because he jokes about himself. But I think there are true benefits to that as well. And I think one of the benefits to that is having the maturity and the experience to know that, hey, look, if something goes bad, life's going to go on. I'm going to be good. I'm going to go to 3 colleges. I'm going to spend 7 years in college. I'm still going to get drafted 40th overall. The whole world's not going to watch my film, and they're going to make assumptions about me and turn me into a joke because of a combine video. But I'm going to stand here, I'm going to be strong, and I'm going to go out here and prove it, and I'm going to be good. I think when he has a bad game, it's not going to phase him the way it would a 20-year-old or a 22-year-old. And I think that's a benefit to his age too. But I almost want to see those things. Like, and it seems counterintuitive because at one point I was like, I want to see interceptions because I want to see him test his limits, and he did, and I feel like he's learned from that. I almost want to see the letdown to see how he comes back from it. Doesn't have to last the whole game. Could be a half. Could be a 2-pick first half or something. But like, I want to see that from him. Just or even just you throw the pick six and you come back and lead a game-winning drive. Like something. I just want to see that moment of adversity. And it seems dumb to say because it's better to avoid it. But like Ohio State, for example, avoids adversity the whole season. They get into the Big Ten title game. Things start going bad, and they just completely fold and kind of shit down their leg a little bit. Like I just want to see him in these moments to see what he does. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's something that I definitely kind of want to see from it.
First of all, he's 18 years younger than the Colts quarterback, and they're in first place. So. Age is not an issue.
There's another way to frame it though. Like he's like basically the same age as Jordan Love when he started, and Jordan Love keeps getting better. Like so. I don't know. Like that remains the big question. Like, what is the ceiling? But I think his ceiling's really freaking high, man, because of these second effort plays. Like, it's just if he adds like the pocket precision to the outside of structure that you mentioned, holy crap, man! Like, then you're like really into something.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's not technical, but the number one thing you want to see with a young or inexperienced quarterback is that it's not too big for them. And I think that was a strength of Spencer Rattler's too. I think that was that poise and sort of like doesn't get rattled easily was a strength of his too. But that's number one for me. And so like that's what you mean when you say you want to see how he handles adversity. And we've seen it in moments in games for sure. But yeah, right now it's a celebration of Tyler Shough right now. What happens when everyone's down on him will be important to see. But absolutely, that's number one on his list right now. Is it hasn't looked too big for him, and he seems confident in himself. He seems comfortable. He seems poised. All those things. You always feel like if a guy proves he belongs in there, then time on task and like him working with Kellen Moore for, God forbid, an entire offseason, an entire preseason, and an entire season, he can only get better at that stuff. Him working with Chris Olave more so they get on the same page on two of his interceptions now have come just strictly because they read a choice route differently, and that will come with time. So all that stuff comes with time. The stuff like, is he overwhelmed? Will he ever get there? Like he's already answering those questions, which is why I think we're so encouraged in such a small amount of time.
Yeah, and look, he's probably already answered that adversity piece too. That when everyone's down on him, because again, like he got drafted, and a guy a guy I know was like screaming in a Twitter space and had a big viral moment. Like people were really mad they drafted him. Like people were down on him. So like he's already lived through that and been fine. So he probably will be fine too. But yeah, the pressure on the field or whatever. Like I don't know. I think he'll be totally fine. But I just kind of want that little piece of the evaluation. I'm incredibly normally like you're high on a game, you watch the coach's film back, and you kind of have that like sobering moment or whatever of like, okay, this is never as bad as you think it is. It's never as good as you think it is. I feel like this like really held up when you watched it, because yeah, it did just kind of feel like a guy putting the team on his back and carrying him. I don't know how the perception of that would kind of change. Like very, very impressive thing to see. He's an elevator. The third downs have gotten better. Devon Bailey's gotten better. Jawan Johnson's gotten better. Chris Olave's become more consistent. A rookie quarterback being an elevator for your team is it's crazy. It's a good place to be. Just got to see it keep going. Really is the main piece of it right now. Moving on to our next part of this, presented by Rouse, is the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. How does his performance affect the timetable of the rebuild? And I think this is interesting because it can go a few ways.
Yeah, I would like to see the Saints treat next year like this year. I really would. I'd like to see them have the patience to be like, you can go ahead and sign Justin Reed, Chase Young, and Jawan Johnson to 3-year deals if they're young guys who are going to be here for 3 years and they're going to be core players for you. I like that. I don't want to see you trading up in the draft and using 2 firsts on one guy and being like, if we just get one receiver, then we're set. I want you to use all 8 of your draft picks or whatever it currently stands to be. I don't want you to go all in for this year. I don't want you to be like, we just get him Keenan Allen. Let's, and if we just get him who was the Justin Simmons or whatever. They've done such a good job of avoiding that all year long, except for the Julian Blackmon signing. And even something like that wouldn't bother me if it helps you be competitive. But just like continue to be like, we are rebuilding an entire roster for the future. We don't have to be like, all right, now let's go win the NFC South, because the NFC South is still lousy. So I would like them continue to make it look very similar to this year. Great. You've got a head start with a quarterback that might be the guy. But please continue to build it with patience. I would hope. What do I think they'll do? I don't know. I think they might get a little antsy and try to win the division this next year, but that's only because I've covered them for too long.
Yeah, that's the thing that really scares me, is that their attitude in that building has always been make the quote unquote tournament and then just see what happens from there. And we've said it before, like there's been times where teams like that, Tampa got in the one year, made a little bit of noise or whatever. But what is the ceiling on that? Like, you have such a nice opportunity here to build a team, as Kellen Moore likes to say, the right way. And I would really like to see him stay on that path. But it terrifies me right now that the best team in the division looks vulnerable. And when they sit down, the thought process in that building might have changed because of where they're at right now. But when they sit down, we've heard too many times like this idea of just win the division, get into the tournament, and then see where it goes from there. I really, 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 really hope they don't kick $60 million in the next year and try to go all in and re-leverage the cap and go out and try to sign. I don't even know who's going to be a free agent. Trey Hendrickson and Mike Evans and stuff like Deebo Samuel. Like, I really hope they don't try to make those type of moves. I hope they really just stay sound. Add a couple guys, make sure they're foundationally fits with where you're going in your timeline. But I hope they don't. I hope they stay just off the gas, be smart, get young, get your core, and then a year from now when you have nothing on your books, like go ahead and go around it and kind of really see where you're at. But I hope they don't try to take a shortcut right now, because like they're taking the long road, and the long road's actually like it's paved. Like, just keep paving it and keep going that way.
Let me give you one sort of devil's advocate counterpoint question, because we're going to have these discussions all season long. One team that comes to mind for me is the Carolina Panthers right now, who are shockingly, they're coming to New Orleans this week, but they're tied for first place in the NFC South, which just seems crazy to me. I kept using them as my example for what I thought the Saints might be this year, when they started 1-7 last year and then finished 4-5, and there was some confidence going into this year that they could take the next step. I don't feel like they sold out in the offseason. And go ahead and win the division. That doesn't bother me, as long as, like you said, you're not, adding Deebo Samuel and selling out. But funny enough, I'm thinking about the Panthers last year when they had Bryce Young going into year 2. They did go into free agency and they spent big money on guard Robert Hunt, guard Damian Lewis. I feel like there was one more move they made. Would you mind that? Would you mind if they go and they pay $20 million a year for the 27-year-old cream of the crop guard that maybe will be here for 5 years along with Tyler Shough?
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. Like things that are like foundationally solid and fit your timeline of where you're at right now. But like it's the 29. How old is Trey Hendrickson right now? 30, 31.
Yeah, don't go sign Trey Hendrickson. Exactly.
Yeah, it's the short fix, immediate, like F it, just go for it and figure it out later type of move. No, if there was a I don't know who's going to be out there, but if there was a 27-year-old version of Trey Hendrickson and you want to go all in, cool, do that. Like that is kind of the advantage of having the cheap quarterback, that you can make a move like that and do it. But I don't want you to like leverage and just take the shortcut. Like, no, if you're going to do it, just make sure that's adding onto your road. Maybe you get, I don't know what the parts are on the bulldozer, but maybe you get a new wheel that, smooths it out and smooths it out quicker. Like, that's fine. But like, just make sure you're staying where you're at and you aren't trying to like, oh, well, Tampa's down. Let's get off this and cut over here and try to jump over them on their road. No, like stay where you're at and just get there where you're going, because like, it's about being good for the next 10 years and not, you've suffered for this. You have a real chance to do it the right way. Just keep doing it the right way.
Completely agree.
If Shough keeps going the way he's going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Or
We're
you're
gonna
setting it up for the 2027 quarterback that you draft. So either way,
I feel like he's got a real chance,
I
man.
do.
I'm a, look, we talk 3 days a week. You got to say something. You got to say what you believe. Information changes. We'll change our opinion if the information changes. But right now, if you ask me today, like if I feel like they got their guy and would I draft Fernando Mendoza? Yes, I feel like the Saints have a guy. No, I would not draft Fernando Mendoza. And I think they're going to be okay there. Like I don't know. Like,
yeah,
I might be an idiot and he might go up in flames. We probably would have felt this way about Mac Jones earlier in his tenure. So sometimes that happens like that, but I just don't see how you can't look at this and not feel better about him. I feel better about him than probably I would if I covered Bryce Young and I was watching him for all these years. I feel better about where they're at. I like him better than Penix. I like him better than Jackson Dart right now. I like him better than a lot of guys right now.
I've got a film study assignment for you. Let's already pencil it in for our Wednesday show in week 17. Who do you feel better about right now, Cam Ward or Tyler Shough? It'll be it could be a real legitimate conversation.
I think you'd probably feel better about Shough right now. But like the thing is Cam Ward has like the otherworldly, and he's young. But like, I don't know if Shough was 22. Like, are their skill sets that vastly different? I feel like Cam Ward has like a little bit of that, the Josh Allen like size gusto to him, whereas I kind of feel like Shough is more of like a Goff build, a Ryan Tannehill type person. So that kind of makes you feel maybe like Cam's a little bit sturdier and like that adds to like something to that pocket presence, but I don't know, man. Like Shuck's got the arm, he's accurate, he's throwing, he's winning games. Like Cam Ward doesn't really have anything, so it's probably unfair to evaluate him right now. But like, yeah, we'll look at it at the end. It's going to be an interesting conversation. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. Whether you're an athlete or just trying to stay active, Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute can help get you moving and keep you moving. You'll have access to the highest levels of specialized care, nationally renowned expertise, the latest equipment, and modern facilities, including a convenient walk-in orthopedic clinic when you need care fast. From the field to recovery, Ochsner Andrews Institute is there to help move your healing forward and get you back to what you love. Learn more at ochsner.org/ortho.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
I used a home equity loan from Keystone Federal to fix up the garage. Woo! Because living your dream means living your way. And the kids take off field.
It's not even game day.
The NewOrleans.Football show is proudly presented by PJ's Coffee. PJ's Coffee has some of the best drinks that you can find. They have locations all over the city. They have pastries and everything else you need to get your day started. So go check them out. I don't play favorites with our sponsors on the show, but one of my favorites for sure is RV Masters. You guys have been watching our show lately and you've seen our awesome new van. That thing is decked out. And the best part about it is I took it up to RV Masters and I was like, this is what I want to do, but I had no idea how I wanted to do it or how to get it done. And they took care of it from start to finish, brought me out for updates, were giving me new ideas, and they made it exceed my wildest dreams. And they will do the same thing for you. RV Masters offers full service RV, motorhome, and travel trailer repair. They have preventative maintenance and service packages for your RVs, your AC, your generators. They specialize in solar and lithium upgrades, satellite TV, and Starlink. They'll take care of you if you get into a collision. Whatever you need, they got you. And I can speak from experience because they definitely had us on our new van. I cannot vouch for anyone more than I vouch for RV Masters. RV-Masters.com. Go check them out.
I believe it, I can see it. If it's in my sights, I achieve it. Ain't no leaving, no defeating. Show up, complete and repeat it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Get game ready. Play Game Ready Scratch-Offs and Fast Play from the lottery. Win up to $100,000. Enter the second chance drawing for a chance to win up to $1 million.
Yeah, they want me to quit, I can't stop it. I'm out of this world, I'm like a rocket. And you can never be us. We not afraid of the pressure, cause we good in the clutch. Yeah.
Get game ready. Play Game Ready Scratch-Offs and Fast Play from the lottery. Win up to $100,000. Enter the second chance drawing for a chance to win up to $1 million.
Shaw Bear Insurance, the Earhart Agency, is a longtime partner on this podcast, but the truth is, I was advertising them to my friends and everybody I knew long before they ever jumped on this show. And I'm going to tell you why. Every 6 months, my car insurance policy comes up, and every 6 months, I get a call from somebody from there telling me I need to change it or stay where I'm at. They're shopping my policy constantly to make sure I am getting the best possible deal. That means money in the bank. And those are the type of people you love, because look, we all live here. We all know how it is. The insurance rates are out of control. You need somebody watching your back, and they actually really do it. And I was with them before they ever asked me to be with them. So they are people that you need to be doing business with. And if you are going to look up their insurance, make sure you are looking for the Earhart Agency. Those are our guys. There's a lot of Shaw Bear insurances. The Earhart Agency is the one you want. I can speak for them. Real life, real support, real good business, real money saved. Call them up today. Shaw Bear Insurance, the Earhart Agency. Hardhide flavored whiskey, Ponchatoula strawberry, and Chilton County peaches in your favorite bars, stores, and restaurants. Hardhide Chilton County peach whiskey is a blend of aged wheat whiskey, light American whiskey, and fresh Chilton County peaches from Alabama's Durbin Family Farms. And Hardhide strawberry whiskey tells the story of a small town famous for strawberry farming. A delicious natural strawberry-infused 86 proof whiskey for whiskey lovers. Just look for the red and orange bottles in your favorite stores, bars, and restaurants. Welcome back to the Oshner Andrews Institute podcast studio for NewOrleans.Football, presented by PJ's Coffee. Our next topic is brought to you by Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Some believe it or not, from week 14, a new weekly staple of the show. First one coming up, Devin Neal had a pretty good day rushing the ball, added some stuff in the pass game, got him some hard yards in a monsoon. What do you think? You buying or selling?
I was reluctant and hesitant with Devin Neal, I'll admit. I mean, just the fact that he's a 6th-round draft pick. He didn't do a lot this summer. He was injured, so I think he only got to play in one preseason game. We just never got to have that, even that Kendre Miller moment of, wow, look at this guy, he's undeniable. But look at this guy and what he did in Tampa. He was undeniable. I mean, it was an eye-opening performance for me. He's shown the sort of the poise and the confidence, like we said with Tyler Shough, to come in and earn all those snaps as a pass protector, which is sometimes the last thing to come around for a rookie. He was doing that before he earned the catches and the carries. In those field conditions, getting 19 carries all of a sudden in a gotta-have-it game that was so tense. The 3rd and 8 conversion where he goes 14 yards and makes Levante David miss in the open field. And then when he talked afterward, he was talking about how him and Tyler Shough are super close, and they've been close, like, as members of this rookie class all along, and how they were talking to each other the whole game, saying, let's put this on us and stuff. I'd say today more than any other point, I'm like, maybe they have something here. And funny enough, my son, who's in a dynasty fantasy league, just asked me, he goes, is Kendre Miller going to be their number 1 running back next year? And I'm like, I don't think so, because Alvin might still be here, and Devin Neal's going to be something. I mean, Kendre might come back from injury and be something, but I think Devin Neal, I don't know, he's going to be like a number 1, the next Alvin for this team, but it looks like, a real promising asset.
Yeah, a guy in a rotation. I think he's a guy that you would like to get the ball to. I think you want the, maybe not necessarily Kendre, but the Kendre type. And I think when you said like they haven't had that moment, I think that makes sense too, because Devin Neal's a 6th-round pick, Kendre's a 3rd-round pick. Like, there's just going to be physical attributes with a higher drafted guy that's going to kind of blow you away, and it's going to be easier to see. And I think when you're a 6th-round guy and you're running back, like, it comes through like moments, and it's going to be, wow, he's like really solid at blitz pickup. okay, he showed up in this moment. And if it was a blow you away type thing, like he's getting drafted earlier. So it makes total sense that it's taking a little bit of time to kind of get there with him. Yeah, I think they have a guy that is probably a good piece of a rotation, someone you want in there, someone you want spelling your other back, and you don't necessarily feel like you're doing this like huge drop off to somebody else, and you don't feel like you got to give your number one guy 275 carries in a season or something like that because there's nobody else there. So yeah, I'm with you on it. I think he played really well. Interestingly enough, same trend we've seen throughout the whole season: 4.6 yards on outside zone runs, 2.9 on inside. Like, I just think they can't block them. Like, I just don't think they can block those runs inside. They got to get some guards. So to go to your earlier question, yeah, go get a guard. Like, spend on them if there's one out there. I don't know who's gonna hit, but like, absolutely, I would. Yeah, I mean, double dip on the interior, whatever you got to do. The defensive front, how do you feel about that?
I thought about putting Brandon Staley himself in the script. I thought about putting Carl Granderson specifically in the script, but just this defensive front as a whole, what a shutdown performance. I know they got leaky in run defense for a little while, but I was keeping track at one point. I thought their run defense might be the story of the game. The first 22 carries by the Buccaneers went for just 55 yards. They didn't let them establish the run. They finally got to them in the third quarter and started wearing them down a little bit, but then they kept coming up big on those fourth down stops. I know we're both really impressed by what we keep seeing time and time again from from Chase Young. And then Carl Granderson, who had been quiet, had those huge tackle for losses. He was the one who brought the pressure also on the last fourth down stop. And then the interior guys, Godshaw, we were talking about how we wanted to see more from him earlier. Shepard's been coming on strong. Jonathan Bullard has started to make a contribution. Brazil a little bit in run defense in this game. Like, I don't know if I'm buying them as a strength of the team, but this is now the better part of 4 games in a row where they have been a real asset and a real strength. So it's promising. I'm not gonna like hang my reputation on saying they can repeat this, but this is what I think this is more what we expected to see earlier in the year when they were more disappointed.
I'm selling still, man. 179 on the ground is tough for me. It's tough for me to get there with it. 42 were to Baker, but that's still 130, and that's still a lot of rushing yards. Situationally, they've been good, so I'll give that. Touching on something you said earlier, Brandon Staley, I think as a whole, I'm buying on him. I think there's a lot of improvement overall in a lot of areas. I think stylistically, it's taken me a little bit to get there with like being willing to give up the 9-yard pass every now and then to prevent the 40-yard pass, but there aren't a lot of the 40-yard passes coming. There aren't a lot of explosive runs coming. The run defense, I feel, is leaky, but the linebackers look good in it, and I feel like some players look good in it. So I'm partially with you on some aspects of it, but I think they need better personnel overall. I think that's part of it. Within that, I'm really up on Nathan Shepard. As you mentioned, Grando had some moments, so bend but don't break, I guess. But the bending on the run defense is just tough for me. Like 130, even taking the quarterback out, is tough for me to get there all the way, but it does feel like it's getting better. So am I buying on the progress of the defense? I think you'd be stupid not to. They've went through like the gut of the schedule. It feels like they're getting better. You mentioned like the last 4 weeks. I feel like as a whole, like there's improvement there, and then the schedule is going to soften up here. But I do feel like if you ask me like overall, like what are your positives of the season? If we were doing the evaluation today, I think I would pull off the progress of the defense and be like, yeah, I feel like they're building an identity. I feel like they know what they're doing. I feel positive about Brandon Staley. I think I feel better about the defense than the offense.
Yeah.
Tyler Shough, I think, is elevating that a little bit. And maybe it's hard to evaluate when you aren't getting everything you want in that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not totally on a different page than you. It's just, I don't know if I'm putting my money down on the run defense just yet.
We're on the same page. I mean, I was trying to couch a little bit too. You worded it right, like believing that they're showing progress, but not necessarily believing.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's a fair way to put it. Yeah, that's definitely a fair way to put it. Absolutely. All right.
Yeah, Staley. The one thing I like about Staley, and I don't know if it'll work or not, but it reminds me a tad of Clint Kubiak. I'm not going to put him in the same class. I was so high on Clint Kubiak, but he definitely has, like, over his coaching career, defined a plan for what he wants and he installs it and he puts it into play and he believes in it. Like, that doesn't mean it's perfect, and obviously we've seen the warts, and he needs probably one more stud personnel member at each level of the defense to really make it work. But I like that he is running a defensive system he believes in, and he's teaching it to everyone so they kind of know what they're supposed to do in it. That's probably the most positive thing I'd say about him.
Yeah, no doubt. He I think you said this earlier when we were talking about something that, I don't know, you were telling a story about some coach and they were like, hey, like, what do you do? What do you hang your hat on? And like the person had to go back, think about it. And then like they, it made him a better coach because they're like, this is what I do. Staley knows what he does. He knows exactly what he does. I asked him a question about it earlier this season about like just how the math works on his run defense when you're taking a guy out of the box and like how it changes the math and everything. And like, he sometimes like when you press someone on what they're doing, there's kind of like a little bit, and it's like, nope, he like immediately had an answer. There wasn't like a stalling to get to a place. Like, he immediately knew, like, this is why we do it. This is how we do it. And this is how the math changes, but this is why it's advantageous. I don't know if I always agree about taking the guy out of the box, like, but they like to disguise where that last player is coming from so that they can't set up their blocking scheme all the way to it. And I think sometimes it leaves you a little bit vulnerable, but like, he has a reason for doing it, and like, it makes sense. Like, his thought process is there. But I think he just needs to get better players so that we can fully see it. But yeah, the Kubiak thing's an interesting comp. Like, I feel like the Kubiak, I'll be interested to see if Staley changes his staff at all too, because that kind of came together late. But like Kubiak had, and I guess it's different too, because like Kubiak just had the whole group, and I guess the advantage to that is if you're a coordinator and everybody just keeps getting fired, like, everybody's always available and nobody's ever moving on to another job. So it makes it easier to kind of be like, everybody get on the bus. We're going to New Orleans. All right, we're going to Seattle now. And they just all stay together. Like, Staley's guys have probably went on and found out. But it will be interesting to see if there's any changes anywhere for all of them, because they did get a late start on everything. All right, Devon Vele had another solid game, solid moments. Buying or selling?
Well, look, he needed the fourth quarter for me to buy, but I'm gonna go buy pretty strongly, because those 2 third down catches in the fourth quarter almost impressed me even more than what he did with was it 9 catches or 8 catches for 93 yards last week? Because that is what we always sort of like envision. Okay, they went and got the big body possession receiver, like the go-to guy on 3rd and 8. And not only did he do that, he stood out for his blocking on like 3 of the biggest plays of the game. The Devin Neal run that I was talking about, he had a lead block out in front of him. I think he had a lead block on the design run to Tyler Shough on the TD, if I remember right, or maybe it was a Neal run down there. But he was doing all the things that, like, when they acquired him, like, yes, this is the player that's missing from this offense. So he's doing those things. And the fact that he only had 3 catches for 40 yards instead of 8 catches for 93 yards, well, it kind of tracks, because they had almost exactly half the pass attempts and they had exactly half the completions in this game. So because of those conditions and everything, it just wasn't as high volume of a game. So you were saying before, if he could just be a guy who can catch 4 or 5 balls a game and be there and on third downs, that's what this was. So I buy that he sort of proved that the week before wasn't a fluke.
I buy too. He and I think it's just part of the way he played. Like, he doesn't get open fast, and when you aren't playing with someone that throws with a ton of anticipation, I think those windows kind of close. But one of the best things about Shough is you go through, and if you pause and it's like his arms back, and it's before, like, someone will cut on a route, the out route we were talking about earlier, his arms back before Vele's into the cut on the out route on that 3rd and 5. I think it was a 3rd and 5. That's I think what you got to do to get the ball to a guy that isn't super duper speedy and isn't going to have these like significantly defined open windows to throw the ball into, where see it, throw it. That's tough with a guy like Vele, and I think that's why he was silent earlier in the season. I don't know if it was really about him. I just think maybe the way that the offense was operating couldn't utilize him as well. I buy, because I just see the way that connection works now, and Shough likes to attack the middle of the field too, and Vele is someone that gets open in the middle of the field. So I think that's going to be there. So as a functional guy on an offense, yes, I'm bought in, and I changed my tune on him like completely. Like he's an asset now. Like it makes sense. Like, and you need him. So yeah, again, don't love a 27-year-old getting traded for with a 4th-round pick. Love that Tyler Shough has him, and I think the math on that as it evens out, I'm walking back the criticism on it at this point because it works and he fits, and now it fits this vision. And maybe this is a vision it was always supposed to fit, and it was always we're adding him to the team so that these two can grow together once we get there and we can execute our plan. Maybe that was the thought process behind it. Maybe he wasn't ever supposed to. I don't know, but it works now, and this is the build, and this is a build that I assume they wanted to build around. So, yeah, it makes sense to me now.
Hey, real quick, I didn't put Kool-Aid McKinstry in this rundown this week, but since you brought that up, I do want to mention you pointed out on the film review last week how good Devon Vele did on the scramble drill, that as soon as he saw Tyler Shough was leaving the pocket, he bolted for the spot. Shough found him. Kool-Aid McKinstry did the exact same thing on that 4th and 2 pass breakup. If you go back and watch that tape, Baker scrambling. And as soon as Baker escapes to his right, Kool-Aid abandons what he's doing, sees the one receiver that Baker is going to be able to find on that play. And it's not the receiver who was covering, and he tracked him down and he got there just in time. It was an awesome play by Kool-Aid.
I like Kool-Aid, man. Like I like him. I like him. He's not prime Marshawn Lattimore. Fine, whatever. I like him on the team. I kind of like what he brings. I like that combo. I feel good about the Kool-Aid Quincy combo. I think you need to add one more guy to it. Probably let Alante go this offseason. But yeah, I mean, look, I kind of like that build back there. We'll see how it comes together though going forward. All right, Shawberry Insurance. They just saved me money on my homeowners. Go hit them up. How many more wins do you expect?
Agency, that's
the Earhart Agency. Yes. How many more wins do you expect this year? The rundown of games.
I think. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Panthers.
4 left.
Jets. Titans. Falcons. 4 winnable games. 4 winnable games.
First 2 at home. Panthers and Jets at home. Titans and Falcons on the road. There's not a single one that would surprise me if they won. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to bet on the Saints to consistently win, but I think right now, if I had to bet money on a record over those 4 games, I think I'd bet on 2-2. I really think I would.
It's so funny the way that the season is because everything's so undefined and unknown. Every time they've lost a game in the back half of the thing, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if they're going to win another game. Like they could lose all these. And then they look at coming out of the Panthers game. I'm like, man, they're gonna end up picking 10th, and then they get cooked by the Falcons, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know where this thing's going. And then they win, and I'm like, oh, they could win all 4 of these. They are all 4 winnable games. Would you say 2-2?
2-2. I mean, I think that's the established most expected line. I mean, the Vegas line is probably 1.5. But
I'm going 2-2.
The record, I'd pick 2-2.
I'm going 2-2. Yeah, I'm going 2-2. Titans just kind of look good in the game, so they still have some fight left to them. But
that's the one I think they're going to lose. Actually, of all of them, is at Tennessee.
Interesting.
Because I think the Titans are the one team that is going to really try to finish strong. They're going to want to win at home. Obviously the Panthers have a lot of motivation. They're tied for first, but Atlanta and the Jets, I don't know. Those are teams that I feel like could wane down the stretch with their quarterback situations and stuff. But the Titans, I feel like, are still going to have fight left in them in Week 17.
I think they'll beat the Jets. The Tyrod Taylor injury is going to be something to monitor going forward. I think it's a groin injury, though. Those can linger a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. I think they beat the Jets. I think that. Yeah, I don't know where the other one comes from. It's going to come from one of the 3. I would probably when we do the pick, I'm going to pick the Saints against the Titans. But I could easily see them going there and losing. I'd probably pick them against.
I'm going to pick this week. I mean, I haven't been watching Carolina when they beat all the best. When they beat the Rams, when they beat whoever they beat, the Packers or the Eagles or whoever else they beat. The Carolina team I saw in person looked like the worst team in the league.
I'm picking them against the Panthers, but I have no idea what to expect. I mean, but yeah, I got to go off of what we just saw. They looked awful. I don't understand that. Every time I don't look at the Panthers, they're like really good. I don't get it. All right, it's gonna do it for this. We'll be right back with the question of the day. Are you ready to buy your first home? Wondering if now's the right time to refinance, or maybe you're thinking about getting into real estate? Whatever play you're trying to run, the pros at MortgageBros.money have the game plan. If you're a first-time buyer, the Mortgage Bros will break down every loan program, help you build a budget that works, and even check if you qualify for 100% financing or down payment assistance. They'll guide you every step of the way, because buying your first home shouldn't feel like a Hail Mary. Heard that rates have dropped and thinking it's time to refi? Don't just guess, get real answers. The Mortgage Bros will review your situation for free and tell you if it's time to make a move or keep waiting for an even better rate. And if you're ready to start investing in real estate, don't let that old 20% down myth stop you. The Bros can show you a home hack that might get you up to 3 doors to rent with little to no money down. Here's the best part. The Mortgage Bros work with you for free. You'll never pay them a penny. They're not bankers, they're brokers. That means if your loan doesn't close, they don't get paid. So they're just as invested in getting you approved as you are. Because let's be honest, signing up for a 30-year loan without a pro on your team is like trying to run the offense without a playbook. You don't need to know every role in the mortgage game. Your pros already do. So go to mortgagebros.money. That's mortgagebros.money. And let the bros be your pros.
'Tis the season for gumbo combos at New Orleans Hamburger and Seafood Company. Enjoy our hot gumbo, fries, and your choice of shrimp, catfish, soft-shell crab, or frog legs starting at $10.99. That's right, $10.99 at New Orleans Hamburger and Seafood Company.
I got hurt in a car wreck. Why should I get Gordon?
Because when you're hurt, you need money. And I fight for the people of Southeast Louisiana every day. I got a client who injured their neck in a car wreck, $250,000. Another client was hit by a big truck and needed back surgery. I got them $700,000, and they deserved every single penny.
That's what I'm talking about. Why wouldn't I get Gordon?
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, just call me, New Orleans. Get it done.
Call 504-800-8888.
You ever take a bite of something and immediately think, yeah, I'm coming back for this? Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant just added some new dishes, and man, they crushed it. The shrimp and crawfish pistolets, golden and stuffed with bold Cajun flavor. Fried oyster tacos, crispy, fresh with the perfect kick. And the soft shell crab Alfredo, creamy, rich, and absolutely worth the order. They're open 7 days a week, and they deliver late. Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Delicious food, superior service. Whether you are a local New Orleanian or a fan in town for the game, get your pre- and post-game fired up at Aaron Rose. Local chaos and local love for the black and gold. Wake up and live with daily drink specials, mimosas, screwdrivers, Bloody Marys, and hot or frozen Irish coffees, all just $3 or $4 between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Aaron Rose, half a block from Bourbon Street in the French Quarter, 811 Conti Street. Attention Saints fans, don't let pests and termites invade your home field. Trust the team at Red Pest Solutions to tackle those unwelcome visitors. Call the Red Man today for unbeatable pest and termite control. Score peace with no pest. Visit redpest.com, REDDPEST.com. Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football. It's now time for the Get Gordon question of the day, presented by Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. This question was addressed to Mike. Hey, Mike Triplett, if the Saints end up picking in the 7 to 10 pick this year, do you think that changes the position they go after as an edge, guard, or wide receiver? Also, what a game by Tyler. That is from Broussard Blaze.
The positivity in our mentions now, it's crazy. I don't think it changes the position, because that's the beauty of needing everything. The only thing it does is I think it takes quarterback out of the equation. We don't have to have those conversations if they end up picking 7 to 10, and even if it's 4 to 7. But I mean, I think it's all in play. I think the interesting question that we've already done on this show, that I think you did more yesterday, is does Tyler Shough's development make you want to support him more? Does that make wide receiver become more of a priority than it was before, or tight end, or offensive line to protect him? But also, if you're giving Brandon Staley as Caleb Downs or as Arvell Reese, I think there's still value in that too. I think they're all in play. at 2. I think they're all in play at 5. I think they're all in play at 8. So I don't know that I just want the best player available because it's a team that needs all pros more than it needs anything specifically.
If they're picking like, I think what was the range here? 7 to 10, like
10.
Yeah, if they're in like that 10 to 12 range, like
I don't think that's possible, is it?
if they want all 4, I guess. But like, it just my theoretical one here, and I would not hate it. And it's so weird how you view the draft because you're like, man, I wish I could. Like, I would love this guy here, but not here. But Kenyon Sadiq, the Oregon tight end, man, like putting him with Shough and then drafting. I don't even know who's going to be there in the second round. At wide receiver, Chris Bell's probably going to end up going too early. But if you did that double dip, I use F the defense. Like, I don't even care. Just get the guy a weapon, see where it goes. I mean, obviously, I think you got to look at defense in the first round, and then that's probably the best way to go about it. Like, if you're looking at the team, it's probably get a defensive player in the ideal scenario. Get the pass rusher or someone that can help with that in the first. Get the guy in the second, but. It's just a fascinating change in how things have come together because, like, I went out to Oregon and I watched them play Indiana, and I watched Sadiq in that game, and I wrote a scouting story on it, and I didn't even put him in there because I'm like, well, he's going to get picked in that like 10 to 15 range. The Saints have no chance of even being around that, and like, you know, hey, look, 4 wins right now. That's the 10th pick. I think the Bengals are there. The Saints went away from being.
Don't let them have this season and pick 10th, please.
It's outrageous though, like how tight it is now. In like, yeah, if they mess around and win 3 games, like you really could be in Sadiq territory. I love him. Look, I think that's the most undervalued position in the NFL right now is tight end. Like, you give someone, especially someone that likes to play a little bit outside of the pocket, you give them an elite tight end, and you know, I think it changes things a little bit. But
I will be perfectly fine if they're scheduled to pick 4th or 5th and they want to trade down too. I don't think they will because we've never seen them do it. But I would invite it. I just bring positive. I mean, this draft class alone is bringing positivity in the building just because there's 4 or 5 contributors. Just like bring them in. Bring them in, rebuild this thing from the ground up. Go ahead and trade down and pick the tight end 13th, and then also have pick 23. I'd be okay with that.
You know, they're gonna end up picking Keldrick Falk, the Auburn edge rusher, who kind of has like he's gonna be the RAS monster.
No.
And last year he had 7 sacks. This year he had 2. That's who they're going to end up picking probably. And people are going to be fighting over it. And we're going to find out what he is when it comes.
By the way, I'm going to pat myself on the back. We can bring in Brandon for proof. All draft season long, I kept saying, I'd like to see him trade down because they're picking 9th, but the guy I love is probably going to go about 20th. And it was Emeka Egbuka. I said it over and over again. But it was exactly the point you were just trying to make. Like, I love Egbuka, but you can't take him 9. I mean, maybe you could have taken him 9. I don't know.
Yeah, in a redraft, you absolutely could have. Ty Warren too. It was you were on it. I love Ty Warren, and then like he went. That was one of the bad things the Bears I think did is took Colston Loveland ahead of him. We'll see over time though. But yeah, just to more specifically answer the question. Look, I think if you're picking 7th, like depending on how teams view Ruben Bain, Ruben Bain could go 2nd or he could go 12th, and I wouldn't be surprised by either one. It's just all about how you feel about him having short arms, and you know, does that become a big thing? So he's someone that could be there. I think a lot of the same guys that they would be looking at are still kind of probably. I don't know. It's a weird draft. There isn't a lot of top end talent. Like Jordan Tyson could go 5th or go 12th. Cardinal Tate could go 5th or go 12th, and I'd be happy with if the Saints were picking 5th and they took either one of those 2. I'd be fine with it. Bain too. So yeah, we'll kind of see, but Caleb Downs I think comes into play if you're in that 7 to 10 range. So I don't think it changes things drastically. I think what you want to see is Mendoza play well through the playoffs, Dante Moore play well through the playoffs. That pushes those guys up. Someone that needs a tackle, they end up taking Fano probably higher than he should. So there's 3, and then kind of see where it goes from there. But I think if you're anywhere in that top 10, you're probably gonna have pretty decent options. I mean, I don't think there's a franchise changer in this draft, though. As it sits now, I don't think anyone's like going to be like, this is but I don't know. It always changes once the Kellen Moores and the coaches and all those people get involved in it. So we'll see. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. We'll talk to you next time.